to sleep now, third grader of mine. The test is tomorrow, but you'll do just fine. It's reading and math, forget all the rest. You don't need to know what is not on the test. Each box that you mark on each test that you take, remember your teachers, their jobs are at stake. Your score is their score, but don't get all stressed. They'd never teach anything not on the test.
Hello, my name is Nicole Binder, and I will be sharing information regarding test security with you. The previous images are non-examples of inappropriate testing behavior. Students, when left to their own devices, can easily work around the system. Therefore, test administrators must be active and vigilant during their monitoring role. The purpose of this presentation is for you to become familiar with the testing protocols, to understand the Hillsborough County Schools Code of Testing Ethics, to understand the requirements of you as a school testing coordinator or test administrator or proctor, and to understand your roles and responsibilities associated with your specific testing title. To begin, we must understand that every test is given for a reason. While you may not understand or know why a test is given, the district does not require a test without using the data to improve instruction, for state accountability, for student promotion, or for student grades. Therefore, when a security breach occurs for a test that is used to improve instruction, the data will cause the educator to not truly understand what the students know and can do. This defeats the purpose for giving the test. The result is not valid or reliable. If a security breach occurs for a test that is used for state accountability, the skewed data would cause or could cause the school's grade to be misreported. An investigation would be imminent. If a security breach occurs for a test that is used for student promotion, an additional measure at an additional cost must be administered for the student so the student has the opportunity to move on to the next grade level. This usually occurs because of an adult error. If there is a security breach and it's a test for student grades, then the score is invalidated. The student does not get a grade. Currently, we are finding some who purposely exclude students from testing to inflate their overall score. This is cause for an investigation. Also, by not giving a student the opportunity to take a test that could improve their grade, you're limiting the student's ability to improve their GPA. Educators have influence over students and hold a position of trust. Parents send their children to school to be properly and appropriately taught. Educators who choose to violate testing security break this sense of trust and provide students with an unfortunate and inappropriate view of what we expect of teachers in Hillsborough County Public Schools. Therefore, Hillsborough County Public School staff who are testing coordinators, test administrators, or proctors will adhere to the Florida State Board of Education rules and Florida State statute. These documents are available online and also in the Test Security Manual on pages 7 and 8. Additionally, the Hillsborough County Security Agreement and the Exam Guidelines and Best Practices must be read, understood, and signed each year. Student records, and specifically student test scores, are also protected federally under FERPA. Student scores cannot be given over the phone or in an email to a parent or guardian. These are secure student records. A parent or guardian must show proper identification and must be matched to the emergency card if picking up score reports from the office. Your testing room must be quiet, orderly, comfortable, free from displays which could cause the test to be invalidated, and arranged to discourage students from sharing responses. Students should not be sitting face-to-face or less than 3 feet apart without a partition. As always, the following are prohibited in a testing room. Family members, meaning a test administrator or proctor related to a student in the room. Visual aids that give students help to answer items, and countdown timers. It is a cause for immediate invalidation if any of these things are in the testing room. Also, please refer to the Test Security Manual for other items that cannot be within reach of the student. This is found on page 11 and include, but not limited to, cell phones, notes, textbooks, or other testing aids, anything that could impact a student's answers. Monitoring students during a test means that the test administrator is watching the students. Test administrators must be vigilant. A test administrator may not read, grade papers, be on an electronic device for the purposes other than approving students to test, talk casually with other staff who may be in the room, take a nap or fall asleep, basically engage in any activity not directly or appropriately related to testing, such as doing a crossword or other puzzle, playing a game on your phone, organizing your desk, taking care of a class pet, or even watering plants. A test administrator is expected to be up and moving about the room. All of these behaviors listed take the focus of your attention off of students and allows them the opportunity to make poor choices. Following are actions that are absolutely not allowed and are cause for an investigation: indicating answers to students, offering testing advice, explaining or paraphrasing text, explaining the meaning of a word, rephrasing test items, providing synonyms for unknown words, pointing out or noting the student did not answer something correctly. All of these behaviors happen and are 100% inappropriate. You need to not be an active participant in the students picking their answer choices. Knowing what section or part of a test a student is working in and the answer to an item are two different things. Even if a student states there is no correct response, your only reply is for the student to do their best. If that is indeed true, that there is not a correct response, it would be an outlier for all students and it would be adjusted for scoring. If a student asks you for anything specific, the best thing and the only thing you can say is stay focused and do your best. Test administrators must be trained for the tests they will administer each year. If you are not trained, you cannot be a test administrator. School coordinators are responsible for training the test administrators. Some of the topics that must be discussed at your training are the introduction to the test you are going to be given, the test administration policies and procedures, the Florida Test Security Statute and Rule, and all of the necessary forms and signs needed for testing. As a test administrator, you're responsible for getting the manual 72 hours prior to the test and reading the test administrator responsibilities before and after testing, and also reading the appropriate script for administering. If you handle secure materials, you must sign the district security document, the exam guidelines and best practices, and if administering a state test, you also have to sign the state security agreement each year. These documents are kept on campus for the duration of the school year and only need to be signed once. There are three types of testing violations or irregularities: security breaches, procedural errors, and monitoring issues. Security breaches are the most severe and occur when the integrity of the test is in question. These will result in a security investigation by assessment and accountability and also professional standards. Procedural errors and monitoring issues are also breaches that range in severity and could be cause for an investigation. If a violation or irregularity is investigated and data are determined to be invalid and unreliable based upon the actions of a test administrator, proctor, or school coordinator, professional standards will also get involved and help to determine the severity of the actions and assign discipline ranging from a letter in your personnel file to termination or loss of a teaching certificate. For makeup testing, for each test given, there should be the same number of days available for students to come back and complete their test. Makeup testing can occur in the afternoon after the regular session has concluded, or perhaps on an alternate day where there is different content being tested. Every attempt should be made to have students test. Also, all students' answer documents, the bubble sheets, should be scanned within 1 day of the close of the testing period for semester exams and within 2 weeks for the pre-tests. Discrepancy reports will be generated and provided to administration for further investigation if needed. If it so is warranted, the Assessment and Accountability Department will conduct a follow-up investigation along with professional standards if inappropriate behavior was a precursor to students not receiving test scores. The role and responsibility for the school coordinator is as follows. First of all, the school coordinator is a member of administration and is typically the assistant principal of curriculum, or the APEI in elementary school. This person is responsible for the security of all of the test materials while on campus. They are also required to train the staff for testing, to maintain the copies of signed security agreements, to verify the counts of secure material, to create the school plan for testing, and to contact the Assessment and Accountability Department regarding any possible testing irregularities. Some sites have funding to hire a testing assistant. This person can assist with paperwork and other duties as assigned, but this person is not the school coordinator. They do not decide who tests and when. Those decisions must be confirmed by the school coordinator, the AP, and must be made by administrative staff. The role and responsibility of the test administrator. Typically, this is instructional faculty or a district staff member who has been trained. First, you need to read the appropriate parts of the manual prior to the first day of testing. You need to ensure that your testing room is prepared. You need to pick up testing materials the day of testing. You need to verify your counts once you have picked them up. You need to bring the materials to your testing room and keep them secure. You need to seat your students, read the script verbatim and follow it as required, create a seating chart, and complete security agreements at the time of testing and not after the students have left the room. And at the conclusion of testing, the materials need to be collected and then returned to a location predetermined by the school coordinator. The role and responsibility of a proctor. A proctor can be a substitute, a level 3 intern, a testing assistant, school staff, instructional staff, and or district staff. The role of a proctor is basically a second set of eyes only. They assist the test administrator as needed and as appropriate. They should never be left alone with secure materials, and they should never be left alone with testing students. It is important to note that a proctor does not have to be trained to be a test administrator because they are not. They are a proctor. However, your test administrator can also act as a proctor on a different test day. Now, after watching this presentation, you should understand the Hillsborough County protocols and procedures for district and state secure testing. You should understand the Hillsborough County Code of Testing Ethics. You should understand the security requirements for administering state and district secure tests. You should understand your role in ensuring that a secure and standardized testing environment is to be provided to all of your students. And you must sign all of the security forms so that they are on campus for the whole school year.